Hey guys, it is Top 5 Wednesday. Unfortunately this is going up kind of late. Or more appropriately right on time. But Top 5 Wednesday was created by Ginger Reads Laney and Sam from Thoughts on Tomes, and it's currently hosted by Sam from Thoughts on Tomes. And if you are new to Top 5 Wednesday, I will post the link to the groups so you can see what topics are there, and if you want to participate. And my dog has decided to share this chair with me as of right now. But anyway, this week's topic is characters that should be on the naughty list. And these can either be characters you don't, and these can either be characters you don't like, characters that are villains, or some of the ones I was thinking about were characters that are like mischievous. Although I wasn't 100% sure if that would count, so I took the one set of characters that on my list that I thought were kind of more like mischievous and more like naughty, and not necessarily a bad way, but in a way that some people won't approve of. That doesn't matter because like I said, I took those off the list. But that was the Weasley twins. I was going to put them on there because they're very mischievous and have done some rule breaking and caused a lot of trouble. And their mom definitely does not approve of their actions, and neither do their teachers or their older brother Percy. But anyway, but I took them off because I wasn't sure if people would agree or not. So my top 5 are, like I said, they're not as usual. They're not in any particular order. They were just the ones that popped into my head. Okay, so I just finished reading Vicious by V.E. Schwab. And although I think most of you have heard of that book, I mean, everybody knows everyone has some idea what that book's about. Well, not everyone, but most people do, it's these two college guys that were friends. They decide to experiment the idea of that if you have a near-death experience, you could potentially develop, extraordinary powers, like special abilities, like think X-Men kind of powers. And their experiment is successful in that way, but something also goes horribly wrong, and the two of them become arch enemies in the process. And one of them, even though he is an EO, as they call them, himself, he sees the powers other than his own, like he believes his own is a God-given power, and that everyone else is evil and dangerous and they should be killed. And so it was basically the other guy hunting the one who wants to kill all the other EOs, hunting him down. So I put them on the naughty list because both of them have killed people. Both of them have had have had hateful thoughts to each other and don't consider other people's feelings, and have done some horrible things and have hurt each other but I do believe one of them is worse than the other. The one that's killing all the other EOs, I think he's a bit of a hypocrite because he is technically an EO himself. He has the power to heal, the ability to heal, and that's Eli. That's the character's name, Eli. Yet he thinks everybody else is an abomination, but he thinks, oh, my power was God-given, so that gives me a free pass. He's a bit delusional, I feel like. But, I mean, Victor, the other guy, is no saint either, so I feel like they both kind of need to be on the naughty list. Okay, so number 2, I said Wickham from Pride and Prejudice. And that is an old book, so I don't think I need to explain the plot to that one. Wickham he's a bit of a ladies' man. He's a player, and he took advantage of Elizabeth, her sister, and Darcy's sister too, and he did not honor his his relationship with Darcy's sister, and yes, he married Elizabeth's sister Kitty, but only because Darcy made him do it. And he totally made himself look like a better man, even though he was the one who took advantage of Darcy's sister. And it was easy, and unfortunately, sadly, it was kind of easy for him to make Darcy look bad and make himself look heroic, because Darcy's not exactly good at being a people person. And he's a bit, a bit proud, and his nose is up in the air, and he just thinks he's superior at times. I mean, like, so you kind of can understand how Elizabeth was easily manipulated, but still, it does not give Wickham the right. I did not like Wickham. And maybe I would have liked him if I didn't know the story from before, because, I've seen the movie version, the one with Keira Knightley and Matthew McFadden. I've seen that version, so I knew the plot and everything. So maybe that's the only reason why I was never fooled by Wickham. And I was definitely rooting for Elizabeth and Darcy from the start. Although, Darcy's not, he's on my list of favorite period drama guys, but he's not number one. He's in there somewhere, but I've never actually put those guys in, order. Because I have a handful of period drama guys that I like. And not just the ones that are based off of, not just the ones that are based off, an Austen or a Bronte novel. It's from all period dramas, not just the ones from those authors. In fact, I was watching one of the guys that I would put on my list last night, and I was watching, I'm, obsessed, I've always been in love and obsessed with Sound of Music, so I watch it repeatedly, several times, and The Captain is definitely on that list. But anyway, so Wickham I think deserves to be on the naughty list. Okay, number 3. This is the only female character I have on this list. Although I'm sure there are other female characters. Even in the show Once Upon a Time, there are a lot of female characters on Once Upon a Time that I think need to be on the naughty list. But that's a whole other story. And that's also a TV show, and I try to stay away from mentioning characters that I know on screen, or mentioning characters that they're in a book, but I only know them from their screen versions. So I try to avoid that, but it's really hard. Because I watch TV as much as I read books. Sometimes it's easier for me to remember a TV show. Renly, Lena's cousin from the Castor Chronicles. She's a siren, she's a manipulative bitch, she's evil, and she has taken advantage of her cousin, and she even tried to sell out her cousin to her cousin's mother, who's gone all evil and stuff, and has chosen, to become a dark caster. Because she knows that by Lena's 16th birthday, she will become dark. Even though the girls in that family can choose whether to be, dark or light, but it's her destiny to be dark. And if you read the books, you'll understand what I mean. But I understand not a lot of people love that series. I quite enjoyed the series, actually. I get why people were complaining about it, and I get that it could be annoying because they kind of dragged out the romance a little bit too much. But I still enjoyed it, But, Renly was just, and she totally took advantage of Ethan Waite's best friend Link, who liked her. She totally took advantage of it and used him, and she's just, and even when she lost her power, she was still kind of a selfish brat. She showed a glimmer of hope for her, that she could be a good person again, but I think once you get dark, you never go back, I feel like. Or it's hard to go back to being a good person. And I think she was she was still very selfish and bratty and very vain, and she did a lot of horrible things and totally took advantage of her cousin, who she used to be really close with. Okay, so number 4, this is a comic book character, and that is the Joker. And need I say more? He is a criminal. He's a crazy person, and he's a criminal, and he's just done a lot of horrible things, and has killed people, and has done, he's a criminal mastermind. What more can you say? Of course he needs to be on the naughty list. Yes, he's everyone's favorite villain, but, he still, because he's a villain, he still kind of should be on the naughty list. Okay, and the last one is, this is another character that I'm also kind of thinking of his TV version counterpart, and that is Hook, Captain Hook from Peter Pan. Now, I'm thinking also mostly of his TV counterpart, which is not in the original Peter Pan storyline, but on Once Upon a Time. He was really favored on that show. They tried to turn him into a Prince Charming, I feel like, and they did not take the time with developing his story. It's like they rushed his story, rushed to turn him into a good guy. And unfortunately, because my favorite character is Rumpelstiltskin, and yes, I fully admit I am biased, and maybe this is unfair of me, but I'm not going to change. Like any other fan, unless you're a neutral fan and love all the characters, I am not going to change my mind about my feelings. And you may find that unfair, but you know what? If any of you that are watching me are Once Upon a Time, are fans, whether it's Once Upon a Time or another show, you gotta admit you're all biased if you have a favorite character. You know, you're gonna have a hard time seeing things being open to the character not being the best character in the world, you know? It's gonna be hard for you to see that the character is not always going to be perfect. I mean, eventually you'll probably think, well, to be fair, this character, you know, even though I love them, but I feel like the writers and you probably turned the show into a all about Hook, and that just bothered me. I felt like that was unfair. But I feel like they rushed their storyline, and he's a pirate. As much as I love Captain Jack Sparrow, he's still, you know, Hook is still a pirate, and he's a scoundrel, he's a criminal, he's probably raped women, and yes, I know he's a Disney pirate, and you don't see it on that particular show, but he has made very suggestive comments to Emma when he first met her. He's talking about how having women on their backs, and, 1 second. Hi, Dad. So, you know, so he's made a lot of very suggestive comments, and maybe he can change, but I feel like they didn't do a good job at showing the progress of the change. I feel like they rushed it, because they had a crush on their precious Prince Hook. Pretty Hook. I almost feel bad for the actor, though, because I'm worried that he would end up being typecast. Because I'm sure he has the potential to be a great actor. Unfortunately, all my other friends that are also Rumple fans will have a hard time seeing that, because they are so stuck on this image of this of Colin playing this character that is granted favorite. I mean, they won't even, you know, they are like, when I made the comment that, you know, that I do feel sorry for him, the actor, and like I feel like the actor is being treated like that he won't be typecast, and that's all he'll be seen as, and I expressed sympathy for the actor, and my friends were like, why? I mean, he's the star of Once Upon a Time now. It's like, I would think he would love it, but, I mean, it's I feel bad for actors that can't get out of playing the same type of role every time. Now, if they are content with it, okay, fine, whatever, but I just feel like if you're an actor, you would want to have more variety in what you do and the parts you play. And I feel like typecasting is the death wish for an actor. But anyway, we're not talking about that. Sorry, I know I always do that, but yeah, Hook is, I mean, he's a pirate. You know, I mean, I love Captain Jack Sparrow, but at least Captain Jack admits that he's not some heroic figure. I mean, he does have an honest streak. Jack does have an honest streak. But it's just, I didn't like how Hook is written. I don't, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of his character. And he's done a lot, and and he's done some things that aren't saintly. You know, and I think he's a very selfish character. So, those are my top 5 characters that I think deserve to be on the naughty list. And like I said, I will post the link to the Goodreads group if you are interested in doing the Top 5 Wednesday, whether you want to join the group or not, or you just, want to do Top 5 Wednesday. And I will see you guys later. Alright, bye.